Hey everyone. So, Metroid Prime Federation Force comes out this month. Come on, guys. It actually looks pretty good. But anyways, the reaction to Federation Force reminded me of another game. A game that was developed by Team Ninja. Metroid Other M. And how, despite everyone hating it, I actually kinda liked it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Hold on. Give the video a chance. Don't click out just yet. So anyways, as you can probably guess, today's review is Metroid Other M. So, on with the review. Okay, let's start with the gameplay of Other M. It's definitely Metroid. It's pretty much exactly what I would have imagined the 2D gameplay would feel like in 3 dimensions. The movement feels right, the shooting is good, with Samus automatically shooting at the enemies near her, most of the time. You can also fire missiles by pointing the Wii Remote at the TV to go into a first-person aiming mode, and holding B to lock onto enemies or objects. The big downside here is that while aiming in first person, you can't move, which can lead to situations where you need to fire a missile, but can't because you're under attack. While playing, you may notice that it can be difficult to dodge enemies in the new 3D environments. Luckily though, Team Ninja thought of that and added a new mechanic called Sense Move, whereby pressing a direction on the D-pad just before getting hit with an attack will cause Samus to dodge out of the way completely unharmed. And if you were charging a beam while using Sense Move, the beam will instantly be fully charged. Also added are one good and cool thing, and one pretty lame thing. First up are the new Lethal Strikes, where you can deal massive damage to a stunned enemy by running at them with your beam fully charged. And second is Concentration, performed by holding the Wii Remote upwards and holding A, which refills your missiles, and some of your health too when it's low. Now, you may be wondering, if I essentially have unlimited missiles and health, why would I grab the drops from enemies? Well, that's a funny story, see? There are no enemy drops. If you start to run low on energy, you better hope you're close to a navigation room if you want to top your health off. Also a small problem are the power-ups. There are still energy tanks and missile tanks, but now there are also energy parts, Excel chargers, and something very similar to the reserve tanks from Super Metroid. The big problem is energy parts are basically heart pieces from Zelda, and missile tanks only give you 1 missile. And that's really weird, and kind of annoying, but when you consider that you have unlimited missiles, it makes sense, but it still begs the question, why have unlimited missiles? Anyway, I've danced around the biggest issue for too long. The way you unlock all but 2 upgrades is by having your commanding officer Adam tell you that it's fine to use it now, or being in a situation where Samus would be unable to proceed without them. But we'll get back to this later. On the presentation side, Metroid Other M is actually pretty impressive, especially for a Wii game. The graphics are nice and really convey the feeling of a space station that's empty and full of monsters running amok. And don't get me started on the cutscenes, I mean, they all look really good. My only problem with them is that some of them go on a little long. The only real problem I have with the graphics is that, when combined with the camera, it can be difficult to find passageways that you need to go through. But I really need to mention the beams. Past the normal power beam, the beams just look and sound really satisfying. Especially this thing that the ice beam does, where when you fire it, it leaves like a trail of ice along the ground, and it is really nice. But speaking of sound, quite a segue there, the soundtrack is wonderful, full of the kinds of songs that you would expect from a Metroid game, which isn't a bad thing since Metroid games always have great music. The only significant problem I have with the sound is that the English voice actors are not very good at all. I don't know if the actors themselves are the problem or if the voice director was just giving bad direction, but pretty much everyone sounds flat and uninterested. This actually annoyed me so bad that I ordered the Japanese version and used Gecko to play through it, because the US version of the game doesn't have the Japanese voices, but the Japanese version has English subtitles and menus. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? Oh well. At least now I have this awesome case for the game. Oh boy, time for the best part. The story. So, the game starts with Samus regaining consciousness during the final battle with Mother Brain at the end of Super Metroid. She's being held by the fully grown baby Metroid, which is taking Mother Brain's blasts in order to heal Samus and save Samus. The Metroid finally releases Samus just as Mother Brain finishes it off. This makes Samus upset, so she has a stern conversation with Mother Brain about how murdering is bad. Just kidding. Samus kills the crap out of Mother Brain. Then, the game cuts to a Galactic Federation outpost, where Samus wakes up and goes through a small tutorial section. Then gives her a report about what happened during Super Metroid to the Galactic Federation. Later, while flying through space, she intercepts a distress signal from the bottle ship, and decides that she has nothing better to do, so she decides to go check it out. Almost immediately after arriving, she notices that there's a Galactic Federation ship. Then not even 1 minute later, she not only runs into a Federation platoon, but the platoon she used to be a part of with pretty much the exact same people, including her old CO, Adam Malkovich. The rest of the platoon included Anthony Higgs, Lyle Smithsonian, Maurice Favreau, James Pierce, and Keiji Misawa. Anyways, they're stuck, so they ask Samus if she wouldn't mind blowing open a door that they can't get open, which she does. After a few more rooms, Samus catches back up with the others and they all find a lovely dead body. They aren't able to figure out how the person died, but they don't need to because the culprit shows up as a huge group of bugs that pile up to become some kind of super bug thing. They aren't able to hurt it, so they decide to help it cool off. But as it turns out, the bug monster seems to have an aversion to the cold. And missiles. After killing the bug thing, everyone is given different tasks by Adam, but Adam didn't want Samus to feel left out, so he lets her help under the condition that she listens to him, and only uses equipment when he says she can. Under Adam's orders, Samus then goes to turn on the electricity, which she does. Adam then tells Samus to survey Sector 1. As Samus makes her way through Sector 1, she finds a little white bird-like thing that seems like it is perfectly friendly and in no way wants to do anything bad. Yeah. Samus then makes her way to the exam center, where she finds James doing something to the main computer, despite Lyle being the one that was supposed to be there and being nowhere to be found. Weird. Anyways, shortly after Samus arrives, the rest of the platoon arrives, sans Lyle. They then use the computer and find that the CPU is damaged, so it will be hard to get any information. I'm not sure if that's how that works, but whatever. After some investigation, Samus finds a cybernetically enhanced Zebesian. Samus finds a cybernetically enhanced Zebesian with a Galactic Federation logo on it, as well as the fact that the entire bottle ship was being run by the Galactic Federation. After some more walking and looking, some not-so-dead Zebesians decide to attack Samus, who tells the platoon that she'll take care of them, tells them to get out. After taking care of the Zebesians, she goes to catch up with the others, but instead gets caught up with a weird-looking lizard thing. that really makes you wish that the first person aiming was a bit better. After a short struggle, Anthony fires a plasma blast at the lizard thing and makes it run away. Everyone then finds Lyle! Samus then decides to take a quick look around and finds the dead, lifeless shell that was the body of the bird-like thing. Adam then tells Samus to go look for the lizard thing. But after going halfway into Sector 3, he changes his mind and tells her to go to Sector 2 and look for survivors. But not before the dumbest part of the game. So remember how earlier I said how the thing where Adam needs to tell Samus when she can use upgrades? Well, this is where it gets dumb. After going through several high-temperature rooms that hurt you and climbing up another room that's pretty much the same, Adam finally tells Samus to activate the Varia suit, which should have been active from the beginning since it can't hurt anyone. Whatever, I digress. After going through Sector 2, Samus finds Maurice dead in the snow, a survivor in a nearby building. After finally catching up to her, and being told that another GF soldier killed Maurice, they get rudely interrupted by said soldier operating a large piece of machinery in a way that the manufacturer would most likely not be too happy about. After reprimanding him, Samus decides to return to Sector 3 after coming to the conclusion that there's a traitor in the 7th Platoon, and naming him the Deleter. In Sector 3, Samus finds and helps Anthony out of a sticky situation. She and Anthony then get trapped in the geothermal power plant with one of Samus's best friends. Now this is where a lot of people have a big problem with the story. Samus begins to have a PTSD episode and becomes unable to fight Ridley, let alone move, resulting in Anthony being thrown into the lava below. Now the best way I can explain this is like this. Imagine you killed the thing that killed everyone you knew, then kill him again after he's turned into a cyborg. Then you kill him again after even more enhancements. Then you kill him again for the last time and blow the whole planet up this time. Then out of nowhere, he shows up a goddamn again like nothing ever happened. I think we would all be a little shook up. But back to the story. Samus shoots Ridley up until he realizes he left the stove on and leaves her to go about her business. After leaving, Samus realizes she can't get a hold of Adam. But then she spies with her little eye a murdering scumbag after entering Sector 1. She then pursues him to the bioweapons research department where, rather than the Deleter, she finds the young woman from earlier, who reveals that she's Madeline Bergman, the head of the facility, and that they were making Metroids that would be missing the one fault that they have, their weakness to ice, and that Adam is behind the project, and that the only way to get rid of them is to go to Sector 0. At Sector 0, Samus encounters a baby Metroid and gets shot in the back by Adam, who then kills the unfreezable Metroid by freezing it to death. Huh. Who would have guessed? Anyway, Adam then tells Samus that he's going to sacrifice himself to kill the Metroids and tells Samus to go find a survivor in room MW. After showing her disagreement with the idea, Samus goes to room MW and is attacked by Queen Metroid. She proceeds to give it a bad stomachache. Samus then finds a survivor who claims that she is Madeline Bergman, and that the other woman was an android created to simulate the mental wavelengths of Mother Brain needed to propagate Metroids, called Melissa Bergman, or MB. Samus and Madeline are then confronted by MB, then a force of Federation troopers, then a legion of creatures that MB is controlling. You then take her down by looking at her, seeing her get shot by Madeline, then seeing her get shot by all the troops. We then find out that Anthony survived, and is very snarky to the general. Then he, Samus, and Madeline live happily ever after. Just kidding, fooled you. After the credits, it shows that a couple days later, Samus returns to the ball ship to pick up Adam's helmet. After she does so, though, the Federation decides now's the best time to start blowing the station up. So Samus decides that it's wise to leave. The end. In the end, Metroid Other M is definitely a flawed product. The story is okay, the gameplay is fun but has a few rough spots, and the cutscenes can go on way longer than they need to. But overall, I'd still recommend at least one playthrough of it. As I said, it has problems, but what it does right, it does right. I give Metroid Other M a 4 out of 5. So, I want to know what you guys want to see in the next main series Metroid game. And please, keep it civil, guys. Anyways, this is Pwnage765, and I'll see you guys next time.